Good afternoon, Karen Maxwell and Gabi Lockhart with Plano Idea Exchange. We're happy to have you all here today. Karen Maxwell, I have Real Impact Plano. It's a real estate investor group, and we meet in Addison on the first Saturday of every month. And Miss Gabi Lockhart is with Real Impact Wichita Falls and Real Impact Denton. Gabi, what days of the month are your meetings, and where are they located? Where do y'all meet?
So we're gonna meet on the third Monday in Denton at the Hill Springs Hotel and on the Marriott. If you take the Teasley exit, whatever, I cannot say that right. What that
Teasley.
word is? Teasley
Spring Hill
exit.
Suites, Spring Hill Suites, Denton.
Yes.
I'm like, just GPS it.
GPS it, yeah. Send me a message and I'll share my location with you.
Oh yeah, let me put your phone number up. Okay, here's
And
Gabi's
then-
number.
Yes, and then we have a meeting actually tonight in Wichita Falls, and we're gonna have it in the country club tonight, and it's 6 o'clock.
Y'all's food is really good there, right?
It is very good. If you go on my Facebook page, you can see what I had for dinner last week.
Oh, I did see I saw your dinner last week, but that wasn't at a meeting. That was just y'all went and had dinner there, right?
Yeah, there was a jazz night, and so we had
night.
a jazz player, and it was just really, really amazing. And hey, if you come to the meetings, you may can win a dinner with us. You never
There you
know.
There you go. Y'all should give that away as a prize. Dinner with Gabi and Tim.
There might be an idea, to get more people, but yeah.
Okay, great.
Usually
we
have
have.
on the second Saturday
Oh, sorry, you just caught back up. Okay, start that again. Usually, you meet on the second Saturday
of the month at 9:30
in Wichita Falls. So, second Saturday of the month in Wichita Falls, but this month it's tonight.
This month is tonight, and this coming the one Monday night in Denton, we did not because we just had the meeting on.
So Denton is typically the third Monday of the month at 6 o'clock at the Spring Hill Suites in Denton, but y'all had your meeting this past Monday night because we have a special meeting this month. I'm hoping that Randy's able to join us, but if not, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Let's see here. We've got our slides. So we have a special event this month. We have Mr. Land Trust himself, Randy Hughes, is going to be talking with us about land trust. So on the meetings this week, they started on Monday. He was in Denton. Tuesday, he was in Grand Prairie. Tonight, he's in Wichita Falls. Tomorrow night, he's in Bedford. And then Friday night, we're going to have dinner in North Dallas. And I'll get to that slide in a minute. And then Saturday morning, he's going to be in Addison for the Plano location in Addison. And then Saturday afternoon, he's going to drive over to Longview, and then he's going home. But then he's going to come back on May 20th. So this week, he's going to be talking about why and when, why and when you need to use a land trust to protect your assets. And then on May 20th, he's going to come back and talk all day and teach us step by step how to create a land trust.
Correct.
So you get your trust agreement, and he's going to go through line by line and explain to you the difference in revocable and irrevocable. The difference between a director, the grantor, the trustee, the beneficiary. There are so many different moving parts of a land trust, but once you get it set up the way you need it, then you can just recreate that for each and every property that you have. If you want them all set up the same, you can choose different beneficiaries, you can make different choices, but if you set it up the way you want it, then you can just recreate it for every one of your properties. Super cool that he has. Let me take these banners off. I thought I turned my ringer off. Sorry. Okay. I have a chiropractor appointment tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to take these banners off. Hide. Okay. So the benefits of land trust. So you can learn how to hide your assets. So we're not hiding them to avoid paying taxes or things like that. We are hiding them. What was the word that he used? It's not really we're putting different hurdles in front of your property to keep you from being a target.
We
So
discourage basically people who come and want to sue you or people who want to take advantage of you because they have nothing else to do. We make it more difficult for them to find your asset and find you to sue you.
it's the first Wednesday of the month. I hear the sirens going off, and I'm like, "What?" It's the first Saturday, the first Wednesday when they do the alarms. Sorry.
Yes.
So yeah, so you're putting extra layers of protection.
Mhm.
So you can actually transfer your property privately without using a deed. That's awesome. So you can protect your property from personal liens. So if your property's in the land trust and someone sues me personally, they can't get to my property because my property is deeded to a land trust. Um, so let's see, protect your personal property from judgments. Same thing. If I get a judgment against me personally or even against my LLC, that property is protected because it is in a land trust. Would you like to learn how to appear broke to the public? So that was really funny. Last night he said our ego makes us say, "Oh, I'm so successful. I had this property and this property, and I just bought a 16 unit or a 300 unit apartment complex, or whatever it is that you're investing in." So when you're telling people to build up your credibility, you're wanting them to know what you've done. But if somebody hears you at dinner talking about all these properties that you have, their thought is, if they're a nefarious person, could be, "Oh, this person's got money. I'm going to sue them." So they walk behind your car when you're backing out of the restaurant, you run over them and they sue you for all you have. And if you own all the properties in your personal name, which is a no-no, but people do it all the time, especially when people are just getting started, they buy properties in their personal name. But Randy teaches you how to take your property that you already own that's in your personal name and just transfer it over into a land trust. Super simple. I think he said once you get the hang of it, it takes like 5 minutes. So,
And you really should not, you should really make sure that if you use a mortgage company or mortgage, that you check and see if it can be done in the LLC, that it's not going to show up on your credit report. I mean,
uh,
there are ways, we have some lenders, some investors that do that. So you can always reach out to us and see if we can help you out on that one. We have one actually who will lend into into a trust. They will not. Well, I mean, we have one that Tim did right now.
yeah.
I mean, it's a possibility. Not, it's not always. It just depends on the deal, and it depends on certain criteria.
And the lender will have certain requirements. So I know that we ran into the same thing with our bank, a local bank that we were using. We had a series LLC. So we had the parent LLC, and then we had each property that we owned free and clear was in a series LLC. So it was sub name 1, sub name 2, sub name 3, sub name 4. I think we had 10. And whenever we went to do a cash out refi, well, not a cash out refi, when we went to do our line of credit, we had to take each of those properties out of those sub series and put them back in the parent company in order to satisfy the requirements of the lender. So that was a bit of a pain. And I don't know if you can go back and change them back over or what, but it was a pain for sure. So now
Yeah,
that
you
I'm back
have
in,
to wait 6 months. You have to wait 6 months. It has to be your property again for 6 months. Keep that
okay,
in mind.
and then you can go back and if you're, I'm sure it depends on your lender because I mean it's like a protection from a protection standpoint. You want to get them out of that main LLC.
Yes.
Okay, so you can actually reduce your chances of a lawsuit. Randy's going to say, "Karen, you did such a great job explaining what I do." So you can reduce your chances of a lawsuit. Once again, like I said, if there is a broke person that injures you, you can sue them, but your likelihood of gaining anything from that lawsuit and getting paid is
Okay.
very, very little. And you have to pay the attorney to sue the person. So you're paying money to probably not ever get the money back. So you want, in order to reduce the chances, you can appear broke. If somebody goes and Googles your name and they pull up 45 properties that you own, they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, this guy's got money. Let's sue him." And then your attorney's going to get a third. you're going to get 2/3 or whatever the agreement is. What did he call them? He had a special name for them. Attorneys that sue and they get a portion of what you get.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what he called them. But anyway, so if they can't Google and find out what properties you own, I mean, like the other day, Gabi, you and I were looking at someone's, looking for what properties they own by looking at their tax statement. And we put the name of the company in, and we pulled up all the properties that company owned.
Yeah.
Then let's see, create your own land trust again and again at no cost. So Randy's program, well, first of all, let me go to the next slide, and I'll get to that in a second. You can do a private agreement with your trustee. So your land trust is a private agreement between your land trust and your trustee, and you keep the land trust, the trust agreement, in your office, in your safe, in your filing cabinet. Nobody knows about this. Then it's not a public record. Then your deed to trustee is what gets filed at the court the property is located. So nobody knows who the beneficiary is, who created it, who the director is, none of that. All they know is that this property is owned by this land trust and this person is the trustee of the trust. How would you like to know how to put each of your properties into their own individual land trust and insulate them from each other? So if somebody sues you, if they fall down the stairs at your property, of course you want to take care of that liability, of that accident, but you don't want them to get all your other properties. Okay. So let's say somebody gets bit by a dog of your tenant on your property. They're walking by and they get bit by a dog that came from your property. They can sue you, and if they sue you for $1 million and that property is only worth $150,000, then they can go after your other properties that are in that LLC or in your personal name. So you can insulate them from each other by having them in individual land trust. Oh, by the way, the LLC can be the beneficiary of each land trust. That's something you can do as well. So you can hold title to your property out of state. Hold title to your property out of your state. So properties that are in other states, you can hold them in land trust even if they're out of state. Learn how to get around the due on sale clause. So lots of people put their properties into trust. It's just doesn't really raise as many red flags for the bank or the lender if it's being transferred into a trust. He teaches us about that. Not a guarantee. We're not lawyers. We're not CPAs. We're just sharing information, education. So this is, he actually has 3 different programs he sells. He sells a basic package, an advanced package, and then an elite package, which is all 4 of his courses. Plus you get the little USB key. So the meetings that we have still available. We've already had 2. Tonight he'll be in Wichita Falls at the Wichita Falls Country Club on Hamilton. Starts at 6:00. Y'all are gonna be having sandwiches, right, Gabi?
Yes, build your own sandwich.
Oh, nice. Put whatever you want on it. All right, good deal. Bring a friend, and the dress is always casual. That starts tonight at 6. So Randy Hughes, and that's a free meeting. All of our monthly meetings are free, but the training on the 20th is $49.
Right.
Tomorrow night, he's going to be in Bedford at the HEB, Hearst Euless Bedford Real Impact meeting. They're at the Home 2 Suites on Forest Ridge in Bedford. Their meeting is starting at 6:30. And again, food and drink will be provided, probably Jimmy John's sandwiches. The dress is always casual, and feel free to bring a friend. Then Friday night, we're not going to have a meeting per se, but we're going to meet at Flaming Buffet. They're in North Dallas on Marsh Lane. And we're just going to get to talk. Randy will be there. Randy Hughes will be there. Roger will be there. I'll be there. And we're just going to sit and talk about, this is for the people that can't make it to the in-person meetings where we have the slideshow and all that stuff. But he'll be there to answer questions and just get some good networking in on a Friday night. And that's going to be at Flaming Buffet. You'll pay for your own buffet, but you get to network with us for free. So, and bring a friend, bring 2 friends. I don't care. There's no limit here. Then on Saturday morning, May the 6th, he'll be at my group, Real Impact Plano, and we meet in Addison at the Quest Trust office on Montfort Drive. And our networking starts at 9:30. We'll have breakfast from Taco Cabana and coffee, and so we do coffee, juice, and tacos, breakfast tacos. Dress as casual and bring a friend. Then he's going to drive over to Longview. Oh, that's the wrong slide. Damn it. He's not in Hurst, Euless, Bedford. On Saturday, May 6th in the afternoon, he's going to be in Longview, Texas at the Big Red Barn with Real Impact Longview, Lindale, and Tyler. So they're going to do a combo meeting. That meeting is a very special meeting time because they never meet at 3. They never meet on Saturday, and they never meet at 3 o'clock. So that's going to be at 3 o'clock this Saturday, May 6th. And they always serve like chips and salsa and tea and coffee. So that's a great thing. And they actually built, I want to zoom in. Can I zoom in? I can't zoom in. So they actually built this barn. This is where they have their meetings. It's a really cool barn dominium.
Very special. Very special.
Yeah. His mom lives next door, lives in half of it, and his meeting is in half of it. And then his yard stuff is in part of it. So, okay. Then we're going to talk about the mastermind getaway. Oh, if you want to sign up if you can't make it to the monthly, any of the this week's meetings, you can go to realimpactevents.com. Let me see if I've got that link on here. Realimpactevents.com. No, I don't. Okay, so create a banner, realimpactevents.com. Date, and then show. Okay, so you can go to realimpactevents.com and sign up for the $49 all-day training on May 20th. We're going to start at 9 and we'll be through by 5. And we're going to be meeting again at the Quest office there in Addison in North Dallas. And but you got to get pre-registered. So go get your ticket for that. And we're going to go step by step how to create a land trust. And but he won't be going over the basics that he's going to be going over this week. That's going to be a full advanced training. It's a boot camp, exactly how to create a land trust. So I'm super excited about that. It's been 2 years since he's been here. Okay, so now let's talk about, let me see, let me hide that and let me add a comment so they can go click on it. realimpactevents.com for tickets to the all-day boot camp with Mr. Land Trust.
Well, so in September, we're going to go to Cancun.
Yes.
And you're going to go with us.
Yep. We're going to May the 20th to the 24th. We do a mastermind getaway every year. This will be the 3rd one consecutive. We didn't do it for a few years, I think, definitely during COVID. But maybe we only missed a year. I don't remember. I think I went in 2019.
I didn't go in 19, but I went in 21, 22, 20.
And we're going in 23. You won a trip. You won a free trip for being IMT of the year last year. So, you won the last year as well?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
In 2020, we went. In 2020, we went. We went 4 times.
I didn't go in 2020. I went in 21 and 22. Because that was during COVID. So I know that I didn't go.
Yeah, we did go. It was good. I mean, it was really, we went to those resorts are really fantastic. We learned a lot. You're going to learn a lot. And there's a lot of planning behind it.
It takes months. We're 6 months.
And also what we do is we're going to make it really special for you guys. When you get there, you're going to see us. You can actually, we will buy you a drink too. Guess what?
Drinks on me. It's all inclusive. So you get your little name tag. I still have mine. You get your little name tag.
Yes, mine is there too. So, but you're going to meet with us and you can just hang out with us and talk to us. And there's so many of us there that have different different resources like Tao from
There you go. There's your list.
oh, there it is. Yeah, Tao in David, they have sober living homes and private assisted living because I was just asked about that on Monday at the meeting. And I
Yep.
told him, yes, we have that. And then buying at sales taxes and rehabbing and mindset. I mean, we have so many programs and so many special things planned for you guys that you can take advantage of all in once. And I
Yep.
think really, and then you get excellent food. That's all they don't.
Excellent. Excellent food. Let me go
Uh,
back to our slides here. This year we're going to, speaking of the excellent food, we're going to
mm,
Dreams Riviera Cancun Resort and Spa. So this is a 5-star all-inclusive resort in Cancun. It's
mhm,
about a 20-minute drive from the airport to the resort, so it's not way far out. It is on the beach,
mhm,
and it's September the 20th to the 24th. And let's see, our keynote speaker this year is going to be Coach Michael Burt and his wife, Natalie Burt. So Coach has a new book. Oh, mine's in the car. I took it with me yesterday. Flip the Switch. So Coach's whole thing is he believes everybody deserves a good coach in life. And if you think back on all the things that you excel at, you probably had a coach. So if you were a basketball player and you were a good basketball player on a team, you probably had a good coach.
mhm.
If you, like my nephew, my cousin, he's playing baseball. So he is getting some private coaching, not just coaching at the school, but a private coach that specializes in that. And so Coach Burt, I've been to several of his trainings, and he did one during COVID. It was in, I think, June of 20, no, it wasn't June. Maybe it was August of 2020. It was called like basically when life knocks you down, and how do you
Mhm.
come back from that?
Right.
A lot of us, especially with COVID and all the landlords that weren't getting rents paid, how do you come back from that? How do you keep from losing everything? And that's what Coach teaches. He's like, basically, every single day is a new day to create something better.
Right.
And he makes his money off of public speaking. And during COVID, they couldn't do public speaking. So he lost a ton of revenue from not being able to get in front of people. So they had to pivot. And he wrote this book, and it's just an amazing book. And I can't wait for everyone to meet him. His wife actually wrote a book called Living with a Monster, because his one of his coaching programs is called Monster Producer. And
Ah.
he teaches people how to become a person of interest, how to get someone to do business with you, how to close the sale, how to, he teaches insurance companies, real estate agents, real estate investors, anybody that's in sales, like just how to, no matter what, like so much of what he teaches, I can pull over into different aspects of my life. He even has I think it's called, I want to say it's called Monster Kids, but I'm not sure. They actually do have a coaching program for like 10 to 17-year-olds, because he's like, why not teach our kids early the things that they need to know in life? Because school certainly doesn't teach them the basics anymore. I think you went over all those. We're going to have the keynote speaker. We're going to have, so Roger is going to be talking about creative financing featuring subject to. We all know, if you know Real Impact, you know that Roger is the subject to expert. Well, it's not, he doesn't do just subject to. He does he buys a property subject to, he puts it into a land trust, and then you can also do other things, like you can do seller financing, you can do a hybrid where you pay the sellers some money for their equity and you take over their note. So there's all kinds of different things with creative financing. It's not just subject to. So he's going to be branching out a little more this year. And then
Mhm.
Randy teaches about land trust and protecting your assets, but he's got some really great, unique ways that you can buy properties with that you're going to sell with owner financing. Some people call it contract for deed. You're basically taking installment payments. And so he's got some great ways to circumvent a lot of the problems that come up with that by using a land trust. So we're going to hear about that. Eric Short and I are going to be talking about the visionary integrator relationships. They say a dream written down is just wait, what is it? A dream not written down is just an idea, something like that. I can't remember the exact quote, so don't quote me on that. But the thing is you can be if you're a visionary, you can have a great idea, a great vision, but then if you don't go make it, put it to work and take action on it, then it's just an idea. But an integrator is someone that actually takes the idea and takes action on it and makes it come to fruition. So if you are a visionary and you need someone to help you make your dream come true, then you might need an integrator. If you're an integrator and you don't have a vision to work on, then you're just doing stuff to keep busy, more than likely. And I've been guilty of that. But we're going to be talking about the needs. So when we talk about delegating, Dennis is really big proponent on delegating. But the thing is if you delegate to the wrong person, we call it the wrong person in the wrong seat. So they may be a very good person. They may have excellent, let's say they're an excellent salesperson and they can really close the deal. But if you put them doing your books and they don't know they're not a bookkeeper, you're making a big mistake.
Yes.
So you can't always just put someone in a position just to give them something to do. You can, I hear this a lot. I hear people talking about, I'm a new real estate investor and I need a company to take my calls. Okay. Well, if you're going to spend the money on the list, getting your leads, marketing to them, getting them to call your answering service, but then your answering service is terrible at taking the calls and they don't get the information that you need, they're just charging you for the time on the phone. We actually had one year, one summer, I was wondering why we had a lot of calls coming in, but they wouldn't answer my call when I called them back. And we had a lot of leads and, they wanted to sell. And then when I called them back, we couldn't get them on the phone. So I went back and listened to the original calls that came in. And there was one, it was 10 minutes of just trying to get the address. The answering service actually made the guy go find a piece of mail with the zip code on it because he needed the full address. And I'm like, couldn't you have Googled that? Like if you put in the address in city state, the zip code's going to come up. And so anyway, it was just crazy. And so we had a chat with them. We tried to hone it in and say, look, this is not the, like you didn't find out any information except for the address. And so that's not what we're worried about so much. Yes, we do need the address, at least a partial address, but the information that I need to know, the motivation. What is the reason that they are selling and what do they have to sell? And hopefully how much they're asking for it. But I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, you can't train someone to do something that you don't know how to do. So you have to perfect your craft or else you don't need to be training someone. If you don't know how to talk to sellers and close the deal, you don't need to be handling that aspect of your business. You need to hire someone that does, that's their specialty. And then you need to keep working at getting better. So we talk about do as I say, not as I do, but I'm a do as I do. Like whenever I'm training somebody, I want them to do it like this. And this is why, and this is how. And then I'm also respectful in the fact that somebody else can do something faster and easier than me and cheaper. So I make them feel like they have the right to say, oh, have you tried it this way? Oh, I can do that a lot faster than, let me show you a trick. That's what I like. I'm like, show me a trick. Show me how to get this done faster. And like, I was not ever a spreadsheet person, and I would work with my VA and he would say, oh, ma'am, you can do it faster if you do it like this, or just click that button, or here, give me control and I'll show you how to do it fast. And that saved me a ton of time. I used to make lots of errors on my Randy's trying to get on.
Okay.
Let me find that. Sent. But anyway, so I am really a big proponent of making sure that people feel comfortable enough to let me know, like, hey, um,
Well, it makes a huge difference if you let people develop their own skills in some areas, but it's important to watch what they're doing. Like
mhm,
what I had to do when I was teaching people how to clean a room, I
yeah,
watched them if they were going left-handed or right-handed.
yeah,
Because if you tell a right-handed person to left-hand a room, it takes them forever and they miss. But if
yeah.
you teach them how to do this, then it makes it so much easier and they're done in a heartbeat.
That's a
And
good idea.
yeah, so I mean that's what we had to do, and I just watched them how they worked,
Mm-hmm.
and then I said, okay, let's try it this way because and I got taught how to do both, and I do both with both hands, so I
Yeah,
can go from left or from right. I mean, left goes a little bit slower than the right, but I can do both, and I can teach them how to do it the right way. Same thing when you iron a shirt, you need to have both hands, and if you do it with both hands and from the left hand and from the right hand, you're done a lot faster than if you just iron it with one hand. So those are the skills that you have to learn and you can teach. And that's the same thing on how to buy a house, how to do things, and it makes a difference. Just something outside the box.
okay, let me Randy's clicking on my personal link, not my. Here's the link to today's call. He didn't go down and read the. Hang on, let me just copy and paste it. Here's the link. Reply. Okay. He got my link in the forward, not the link of the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, okay, let's see. Let's finish this up before he gets on. So last year we had in 2022 we actually had 78 people on our trip,
Right.
but over 60 of those are real estate investors that attended the meetings. We're offering the VIP. So the price to go on the getaway is $49.95. But if you attend a local meeting, which includes tonight's meeting or any of these land trust meetings with Randy Hughes, you're going to get a discount that's only available at the meeting. They'll give you the code, the discount code, the promo code to get in for $39.95, and that's for 2 adults and 2 children, 12 and under. But we also have a VIP upgrade. So for $5,000, you can buy this VIP upgrade, which gives you you get upgraded to the ocean view room. You actually get an extra night. So we're going down on the 19th to get everything set up for the getaway. So you get to come with us. You get to have dinner with the experts that are there that Tuesday night. We're going to cover your airfare. We're going to cover your transportation from the resort and back. We will return you. You get to go on the yacht excursion with us. We take a yacht over to Isla Mujeres. That's going to be on that Friday. You get to have dinner with the keynote speaker, which is Coach Michael Burt and his wife on, I believe we've scheduled that for Thursday night. That would be on the 21st. You get your VIP badge, and we're going to do it all for you. So that's worth it in my book.
It
So
is worth it.
it's
Yes.
a true mastermind combined with a true vacation. It's $49.95 for 2 adults and 2 children, 12 and under. Prices are subject to change. So let me explain this. We block off a block of rooms, and this is the rate for that block of rooms. When we fill those rooms up, which I think we have about 4 left at this time. When we get our next block of rooms, the price can go up. They could stay the same. They rarely go down, but they can go up. So you need to get booked by July. Our cutoff date is July 20th for the mastermind getaway. And if you attend a Real Impact monthly meeting, you're going to receive a special discount. Plus, every in-person meeting that you attend, you're going to get registered for our giveaway that we're doing July 30th. We're giving away a trip, the mastermind getaway for 2 adults and the VIP upgrade. So it's a $10,000 prize. But you have to attend a local in-person meeting. And if you attend all 4 meetings, or if you go to 4 different locations, you get 4 different entries. So make sure that you guys are getting to our local meetings. Randy, we're almost done with this part. And then you can sign up by going to mastermindgetaway.com. And we hope that you will join us. Maybe Randy will tell us about his experience. Okay, let me get this screen off. I've already went through all your land trust screens, land trust
Slides. Yeah.
slides.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I said you would probably be pretty proud about my presentation.
Really good. She did really good. Yeah.
I'm sure she did.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us today, Randy. I'm sorry
Yeah.
about the confusion. I had forwarded it to you, and the forward had the link. So I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Sorry for being late.
That's okay. We're on here for about an hour, so we still have about 20 minutes.
Okay, that's
And I know
perfect.
you have a meeting coming up, so
At 1 o'clock, so that's perfect. Yeah.
good.
So we were talking to members, right?
Yep.
Is this the group that we're going to be talking to tonight?
This is so Gabi and I do this every Wednesday. Gabi's with Wichita Falls and Denton, and I'm with Plano. And this is actually, it goes on YouTube, so it goes out like alive, and people go back and watch it later at their convenience. So
Okay.
We have different subject that we talk about, and today we love to have you here today.
that's right.
Well, I'm looking forward to going to Wichita Falls tonight.
Good deal.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to talk about the reasons why real estate investors should not be on the title to their real estate investments. And I know that's kind of foreign to a lot of people, especially when their attorneys and their accountants don't advise that and don't even understand how to do that. So it may be a new concept to many of you, but I'm looking forward to explaining the many benefits of doing that. I've been a real estate investor for 5 decades, and I had probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 single family rental houses in my name when I first got it started in the business. And so that was, I started in 1969. So during the 70s, I acquired about 10 or 15 houses and titled them all in my personal name. And then one morning, I don't know if you folks are like this, but my brain works a lot at night when I'm asleep. And I appreciate that. I think that's a great benefit to having a brain. It's just having it work when you don't have to tell it to.
Right.
So I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought, well, if I own all these properties in my name, anybody can just look at the county records and see everything I own. Mm-hmm. And they also can see what the houses appraised for, what they're assessed for, what the debt was that I put on them initially. And with those numbers, they could pretty much figure out what my net worth was and decide whether or not I'm a good candidate to sue.
Right.
And that's what's kind of frustrating about our business is the fact that we all want to be successful. We all want to build net worth and cash flow for our future. But the more successful we are, the greater target we are for other folks that don't want to work hard like we do. They just want to sue us over some frivolous lawsuit issue and try to take our money and our assets away that way. So after I realized how dumb that was for me to own this stuff in my name, I started researching ways to hold the title other than personally. And this was back in the day before LLCs had been invented. They didn't come onto the scene until, I believe, 1997. There were corporations back then, but there were several problems. One big problem with putting the properties in a corporation was the fact that you can look up who owns a corporation. Mm-hmm. The state website. So that didn't give me any anonymity. And there are some tax restrictions when you own a corporation that you don't have when you have an LLC, for example. So I did a lot of research and I came across the land trust. And that it's kind of a misnomer. Oftentimes my students will say to me, oh, well, I don't have any land, so I don't need a land trust. But that's not the case. I like to just call them a title holding trust, so people don't misunderstand that, because they can hold all kinds of real estate, whether it's commercial, residential, or whatever, even options on real estate, contracts to buy, contracts to sell, air rights, mineral rights, all types of real estate can be held in these grantor revocable trusts.
Right.
All that means is that's kind of a reference through the IRS. This grantor revocable trust, revocable meaning that you can change it after you set it up. A grantor means that you are the grantor. You create the trust, and most of the time, not always, most of the time, the grantor and the beneficiary are one and the same. Now, what's really different about this type of title holding trust is when you compare it to what most people know of a living trust, and most attorneys are only familiar with a living trust, is that a living trust is controlled by the trustee. The trustee can buy, sell, refinance, whatever, and the beneficiaries have no rights to those decisions. A land trust is just the opposite. It's beneficiary controlled. The beneficiary makes all the decisions and tells the trustee what to do. The trustee has no power to do anything unless instructed in writing by those beneficiaries. So big difference between those two types of trusts. And incidentally, while we're talking here, Karen, if anybody posts a question in the chat box, feel free to interrupt me. Okay?
Oh, absolutely, I will.
You wouldn't hesitate, would you?
I would not.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead, Randy, because I want to make sure that you cover what you talked about last night about the federal registry or whatever you were talking about last night. I was
right.
irritated about that.
Yeah, it's not good news for the privacy of investors, and as I said last night, it's always more difficult to be private in the future than it is today, because the governments are always tightening down on information. And the last thing they did recently, towards the end of last year, is they passed a law saying that January 1st of 2024, if you own a corporation or an LLC, it's going to have to go on the national registry. And so all you folks that have gone to the trouble of forming an LLC in Wyoming and Nevada and Delaware and Missouri, where those states don't publish the owners of LLCs and corporations, you're going to lose your anonymity January 1st of this coming year. So just another reason not to own real estate in those entities, but to own them in a trust first, and then have those entities serve as the beneficiary of the trust. Why is that important? Well, because you can't look up who owns a trust. There's no registry for trusts like there are for these other corporations and LLCs. So it's just going to make the land trust even more valuable, more important to us real estate investors. And furthermore, it's a good idea to use these trusts to put each property into a separate trust, every one in a separate trust as you acquire them. So if you have 20 properties, you should have 20 different trusts. That way they're all separated from each other from a liability standpoint. Then those 20 trusts may flow down to one LLC as a beneficiary, or more than one LLC, but that's really an issue of how much equity you're trying to protect. So for example, if you have 10 properties and one property has $1 million worth of equity, and the other 9 have a total of 10,000 apiece or 90,000 in equity, I'd probably have those 9 flow down to one LLC, and the one with $1 million in equity flow down to a separate LLC.
Good idea.
But those are just issues that we're going to go over this stuff in detail on May 20th when I teach an all-day land trust course, and that is in
Addison.
First, Madison?
Addison.
Addison, isn't that called the Hearst Trust Company or something?
Quest Trust.
Quest Trust. There we go. Yeah.
So do we have the
So
full day? I don't think
all
we have.
day.
So we
all
don't have
day.
the full day thing on here, but we have the address. Let me get back over to that.
Yeah, that's fine.
There it is. So it's at Quest Trust Company at 14860 Montfort Drive, and that's going to be from 9 to 5 on May the 20th. And you can go to realimpactevents.com to get registered for that full day training. Randy, last night after I left your meeting in Grand Prairie, I was thinking about your anonymity, the whole premise of land trust and how the anonymity of it. And I texted you and I said, you need to bring this up. My sister passed away in 2017. She had an insurance policy. She actually had several insurance policies, but come to find out, only one she had continued to pay on, even though they thought she had all this different insurance set up. So her husband, I called the insurance company for her husband and said, hey, I know my sister's passed away. This is their address. Can you send whatever you need to send to her husband? We are at the funeral home. And they were like, okay, yeah, it'll be sent to the beneficiary. Well, a week goes by and we don't hear anything. And then it was like pulling teeth, trying to figure out why they were not sending the stuff to her husband. Well, it was because her husband was not the beneficiary. She had set it up 16 years prior to her passing away. And I literally called the insurance company and I'm just like, I'm screaming. I'm like, please help me. What do we do? They're like, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Only the beneficiary can do something. And we have done our best to notify the beneficiary. I'm like, that was 16 years ago. Did you email them? Did you call them? Did you send them a letter? They said we sent a letter and we called and left messages. And I'm like, okay, I'll get back with you. So I called my mother and I said, Mom, have you talked to so-and-so? And she said, they called the other day, but I haven't called them back. And I said, you're the beneficiary. Will you please call the insurance company? And she called and they got it taken care of, but she didn't check her voicemail. And they were sending the letter to the old address. It was 16 years.
Yeah.
And, it's just something you don't think about. So when you talk about anonymity, the only person that knows who that beneficiary is the person that set it up, the grantor, the creator. The trustee may know at that time, but if it changes,
Well, here's the deal, Karen. When you form these trusts, you should keep a copy. I keep a hard copy of all my trusts at my office, and then I keep an electronic version on a thumb drive in my safe at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also given the information to my children where they have it in their safe at their homes. And then your trustee should have a copy. So if something happens, there's going to be somebody that knows what to do as far as who the beneficiary is going to be. I think that's part of your estate planning is you inform those people that need to know. However, now if you change the beneficiary, the trustee will know because the trustee has to sign on the change of beneficiary form acknowledging, hey, I got a new boss in town. It's Bob, not Sam anymore. And then everybody's been informed. But yeah, that's part of what we'll go over on May
20th. There's a lot. Directors, trustees, beneficiaries, substitute trustees, substitute beneficiaries, and you're going to go over all this and explain it. A revocable versus irrevocable. What?
Yeah.
And you're going to go over all that.
Yeah, I'll break it all down. It's really not as complicated as it might sound. And we'll go through and create your very first trust that day, and then you'll feel real comfortable because you'll do it.
Yep.
And that's just a matter of loading the end product up on your computer, and after that, you'll just fill in a few blanks and you'll hit print, and literally it'll take you 5 minutes to create a trust.
And if you make your choices and you say, okay, I want to put this property in this trust, and this is how I want it set up. And oh, by the way, I have 19 other properties that are going to have the exact same setup, so to speak. Then you can literally copy paste the address, create a new trust with a new address, the new trustee name, or the new trust name, and then everything else is already decided, right?
Yeah, it'll be cookie cutter after that. But I do want to emphasize that I have a whole chapter in my home study course on how to name a trust.
Yes.
I think it's important that we don't name them all the same, or we don't name them after the street address of the property that's in the trust, or we don't name them the red, white, and blue trust 1, the red, white, and blue trust 2, and that sort of thing, because that links them all together. So we want to create these trusts to where they're all independent of each other, and nobody can link them together and make the assumption that you are behind the curtain on all these things.
Yeah.
And let me just state here, Karen, I think it's important, especially for new people that are just learning this. I know this can sound like a negative. It can sound like, oh, this guy's a real shyster. He's trying to hide his assets, and that's not the case. What we are trying to do is protect ourselves and our family's equity from frivolous lawsuits and people that want to steal from us instead of work hard to do what we're doing, is trying to build wealth on our own. So it's not, these trusts are not for, crazy, nefarious reasons. They are for estate planning, asset protection, and several other reasons that actually I've written a little pamphlet, because there's so many reasons to use these trusts. I've got a little pamphlet that I'll give everybody that comes to the event tonight and tomorrow night. And we got 2 events on Saturday. And then at the training, if you want, I'll give you a free copy of a booklet that has over 50 reasons to use these trusts. And I've been using the trust for over 40 years in my business, and I still discover new ways every now and then, and new benefits for using the trust. So they are very versatile animals. They don't cost anything to form, so they're free. So you can't say to me, well, Randy, I got 20 properties and it's going to be too expensive to put them in 20 different land trusts.
Not if you do it yourself.
If you do it yourself, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. So get the best setup possible, and that is put each property into a separate trust. Don't aggregate your assets. Even if it's cash, stocks, bonds, real estate, whatever it is, you don't want to put them all in one account, because if there's a problem and that account is attacked, you're going to lose everything.
Yep.
And believe me, going home and telling your loved one tonight that you lost everything, is not going to be real good for your relationship.
Right. So Randy, when you were talking about that, I was thinking, okay, if I have my computer, my laptop, and I take it with me, and then I get to where I'm going and I leave it in my car. Okay. Number one, that's my asset, my laptop. It's sitting in my car. I can lock my car. That's a protection. I can park that car in a parking garage, which gets it off the street. Okay, that's another layer of protection.
Right.
I can park it in a garage at home. I can park it in my garage. I can leave my car unlocked in the driveway with my computer there, or I can lock my car in the driveway, or I can put it in the garage, and then I can lock the garage. So now I have 4 layers of protection to protect that asset. So it's very much the same thing with a land trust. You can be that person out there bragging about all the properties you have, and you have it in your own name. You get sued and you lose everything to pay one lawsuit.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. There are different levels of protection. And Karen has stated very clearly how important it is that you protect your assets. And certainly your real estate investments are going to be much greater value than Karen's computer.
Yeah.
And they're going to be of greater value than your personal car and your personal home, of which you have insurance on.
Yep.
I'm sure. So you're already doing this to a certain extent. You're protecting your assets by buying car insurance and homeowners insurance. So it's important for you to take that logic and apply it to your real estate investments. And the easiest way to do it is while you're acquiring these investments, instead of after the fact. But you can do it after the fact. And if you own real estate now and it's in your name, there's nothing you can do about that but get off the deed as soon as possible.
That's right.
Transfer.
It's not
Pardon
too
me?
late until the house is burning down. When the house is burning down, it's too late. But if the house hasn't burned down,
That's
you
right.
can change it.
That's right. Somebody may be holding the flame close to it, but it hasn't burnt down yet.
Right. Yeah.
And the longer you're in this business, the more you're going to run into some weird, strange, crazy things that can happen to ownership, to title, to partnerships. I know a lot of you folks out there do partnerships.
Yeah.
I do not advise you to ever do in a partnership. That doesn't mean you don't do business with other people. It just means you structure it in a way that protects you and the other party from each other and protects the title of the real estate, most importantly. So neither one of you get burned. So I'm going to go through a lot of scenarios on the May 20th date, scenarios where you can invest together, scenarios, um, uh, strip equity from our properties. We'll talk about.
Randy, I think we're losing your connection. It's getting real garbled.
Okay.
Right.
We're back online.
Yeah, I think we're back online. I know
Okay.
it's like 12:57 and you have another meeting coming
Let me
up.
give you one testimonial also, because Tim used the land trust to when he did a partnership with somebody else, and that partnership got sour, and the land trust protected Tim from court. I
From
mean,
the other parties.
twice. I mean,
Twice.
that person sued twice and was it was rejected by the court twice.
Wow.
And it protected us in a good way. So I mean, you talked to him about it and you helped him to put it together, and it was a good thing. I mean, at that moment when we put it together, we didn't think we needed it, but on the end, we were really
You
grateful.
never think you do till it's too
You
late.
never, yeah, that's right. You got to be proactive. You got to do this before you need it.
That's right. That's right. Well, Randy, thank you so much. I want to make sure you get off here so that you can get on to your next meeting. And Gabi will see you tonight in Wichita Falls. I'll see you Friday night at dinner in Dallas at Flaming Buffet. And then I'll see you again on Saturday morning at Quest Trust. And we're going to do this. And then we hope everybody joins us on May 20th. Go to realimpactevents.com to get your tickets now.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Thanks, Randy. Thanks, Gabi.
Bye-bye.